let me explain something besides the jaw walk going off, which I'm such a professional. Oh no, there's the dog barking. What is that? Yay, she's up. Hold on, is that someone at my door?
Like a bad Edgar Allan Poe poem.
No, we're good. What's that?
So that's you. You sound like the beginning of a bad Edgar Allan Poe poem.
Oh, so no, I was gonna say about the robe thing until the cat jumped off. Ow, my arm. Is Saris, our brown long haired cat? She likes to nurse on this particular robe, and so I was just bonding with my cat.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not in my pajamas. I'm wearing a less than Jake shirt today. You like ska? Do you listen to ska?
Actually, yeah, I enjoy ska quite a bit because I'm one of the people. Well, I've had this conversation with a few people that ska actually really originated, I believe, in Mexico, and that specific sound. And that was brought over to United. Yeah, ska's fun, man.
Well,
The fun thing is I've never seen a ska band in live, and I've
mhm.
heard that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Less than Jake is outstanding. You know, they lean heavier on the punk side of ska than say like a Desmond Decker or even Operation Ivy to give something even more contemporary. Speaking of that cat and that robe, here she is again. Um, yeah, man. But live shows are good. Almost anything live is good, you know, in some way, just because you get
Right.
to feed off the crowd and stuff like that, and you know, it's that's really loud. I think maybe. Anyways, welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre, everyone. I was talking about the live shows that we do, which are also brought to you by Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow, like you can see on your screen. But yeah, doing things live is a lot of fun. It's like baseball, even. You and I have talked before about certain sports are better live than not. And baseball is one of those. But yeah, dude,
No, but okay.
look, I love baseball, but I cannot. I can sit through a whole game live of any like minor league, college, pro, but I can only watch so much on TV. And if that
To be
shit's
fair,
going into extra innings, no, I'm done.
extra innings, especially now, is when it gets most exciting.
I know,
Yes.
I know. I like hockey's like my sport. That's the one I watch no matter
Mhm.
what, you know. And but yeah, no, like I don't like NASCAR at all, but I'll go to any race live, like drag racing, circuit racing. Something I would really actually like to see is like and I know it's a different type of spectation for rallycross, but I'd like to see like a rally race. I think that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of fun and
If
interesting.
I accidentally start watching a NASCAR race, chances are I'll watch it. I don't know why, but I get sucked
Ow.
in. And I used to watch it quite a bit more. Actually, I was a big Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, and obviously
Mhm.
Jeff Gordon being a Bay Area guy. So yeah, I know quite a bit more than I should. But hey, whatever. I just enjoy sports in general. I think the only two sports I cannot watch on television are golf and tennis.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Those are a little bit harder to deal with. Kind of like you know what I don't get. We're humans. We're so far advanced above our pets, and yet I won't inconvenience her, despite the claws in my arm inconveniencing me. It's terrible. Anyways, this is the Daily Cup of Genre here on lrmonline.com and the Genreverse podcast network, wherever you get your podcast from, and available on YouTube. Please like, share, follow, subscribe. Daily Cup of Genre covers everything in entertainment and sports and wrestling and other crap Manny and I want to talk about. I'm Kyle, that's Manny. And yeah, man, Gig Pada just tweeted out something about the Batman, and
Hmm.
I'll read from him. His last night, I say just tweeted out because it's morning time when we're seeing all this. But 7 hours ago, he tweeted out, so the Batman is dark and grounded footage from CinemaCon gives me confidence with Robert Pattinson as the Caped Crusader. For those of you that don't know Gig Potta, you're wrong. Go to our YouTube channel and watch the guy. He talks to everyone like Manny and Nancy do as well. So lots of great interviews there. But he's got a Gig is a very, very interesting person, especially being here at this website, because he's not quite as geeky as all of us, but there's definitely geek things that he likes. He's a film buff, like a very, very knowledgeable film buff, and he's been doing this for a while. So you can really, like, I've seen him say, this movie's not for me, but I can tell it's well put together and people will probably like it. He's that type of person, and guess what? Most people end up liking the movie. Basically, I'm saying take the guy's word with a little bit of weight. Not a lot, but what do you think, man? What do you think about what he had to say about it? And am I wrong in characterizing him that way?
I really respect his opinion, especially because he's the reason why I am an interviewer now. Just
There you go.
He taught me a lot of the things I know. So when he says something's good, to me it holds a lot of weight, because he's not as easily impressed as I am with shiny things. So it's true, because he scored me one time for enjoying Mortal Kombat, and I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah, so
you will not shame me.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks grounded from what we saw just based on the trailer, and just overall lackluster performance, I guess, from Warner Brothers yesterday, just because a lot of the stuff they want to show off, I think they're saving for fandom.
That's interesting. The whole reason I brought it up is damn cat's claws. Is because you were the one that were like, I think they're going to show something from the Batman at CinemaCon, and you also thought potentially Black Adam. I don't know. Did anything pop up for Black Adam?
Nope. The only other thing that was revealed was the big reveal was the name for the Matrix 4.
Oh, which is
Revelations?
No, that was the
Revolution, Reincarnation, Reanimation. I'm just kind of being a jerk at this point.
Oh, Matrix 4 title. Let's see. Of course, they want you to click on the damn article. So I gotta go in.
Resurrections.
And it's called Resurrections. Matrix Resurrections.
I knew it started with an R.
Yeah. Okay. And interesting. But let's stick with the DC thing. You thought they'd show some footage, and you thought there might be a trailer, and that they would hold on to it till fandom. They did show some stuff, and I think you're right. They might hold on to it until fandom. But it wasn't like a regular trailer, right?
No, I think it was just footage. And then the trailer that they did show was very, very similar to the one that they had already shown last year.
Okay.
So
got it.
I'm sure that they got such a great reaction from fandom last year. I think they're trying to make that kind of splash again. And it makes sense. I'm excited for it. It's the biggest DC day, I guess. So
that's cool, man. That's a couple. I keep telling people they need to watch this show. You and I kind of have our fingers on the pulse of a lot of things. We're not always 100% accurate, but we're in the ball field. And
lately we've been right quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Or ballpark or whatever it's called, ball field. How did I come up with ball field? Baseball field, ballpark. There we go. Anyways, so let's kind of continue on into this CinemaCon discussion with that Matrix 4 thing. Gizmodo, and so everyone that saw the new format for the Daily Cup of Genre yesterday, let us know what you kind of think of that, having us up in a on a background, and the way I did the split screen. I know I had a couple of boo-boos with video tracks. I had like 9 video tracks to make that, and but it's not too bad of a mishap. It's just the intro video isn't full screened, and then the ad is split, but audio works great, and everything else. So let us know how that is. Today's is a little bit more traditional, just because I want feedback, and I want to kind of tweak the system. So, yeah. Anyways, the Matrix. It says Gizmodo reports the footage as it begins with a very glossy looking city. A psychiatrist, played by Neil Patrick Harris, NPH, is sitting with a patient named Thomas. Thomas is Reeves, and he's having problems. He says he's having dreams that aren't quite dreams. We see him walking down the street with green matrix code. Am I crazy? He asks. We don't say that. The doctor replies. Thomas is then sitting in a bathtub with a rubber duck on his head. Walks into a coffee shop, greets Trinity. Have we met? She asks as they shake hands. We see that Thomas is taking blue pills at home. Interesting. He looks into the sky and watches a bunch of birds flying. He's trying to analyze it. Next, he's in an elevator with a bunch of people on their phones. And he looks up at the reflection of everyone looking at screens. And here is where the song White Rabbit begins playing. Abdul Mateen the second, gentleman from Aquaman, played Black Manta, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
And then shows up as a character that looks just like Morpheus, with his shaved head, tiny sunglasses, offers Thomas a red pill, meets a person with blue hair, has a tattoo of a rabbit. This all feel very familiar to us, the audience, because it kind of because this is kind of just the Matrix again. Geez, they're really in depth, and I have to read this all because we do an audio only version of this. Neo and the person with blue hair walk through a mirror. He's in a cafe, then he's in a very serene dojo, which is on a lake, with Abdul Mateen's character, who then says, the only thing that matters to you is still here, he says. You'll never give up. They begin to perform martial arts, and when Thomas hits Abdul Mateen's character hard in the chest and he flies out of the room, Thomas and blue-haired person are on a train. Bullet from a sniper shot from far away flies through the train toward them. Tons of action scenes now cut very, very quickly. See the fields of people plugged into the Matrix. Trinity being unplugged in the Matrix. Blue-haired person jumping over a car in slow motion. Thomas holds bullets in the air. Helicopter fires a missile at Thomas and Trinity, and Thomas changes its direction midair and shoots it into another helicopter. Then Thomas in an office with a man in a business suit played by Jonathan Groff. You're going back to where it all started, he says, back to the Matrix. Then the title, The Matrix, which fades away, and then Resurrections. And then they go into their opinion of it. What do you think about that footage description, man? Tom, it's The Force Awakens, isn't it? Kind of sounds like it.
It sounds it sounds a little bit like a reboot. The thing is, I've never really been enthralled by the Matrix that much, other than watching the first one. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe I had read some of the things for it, but if maybe I missed something, or I just don't understand something in particular, because whatever, it just wasn't my thing. I appreciate the first one for what it is, and then the rest of them just kind of blend together.
I mean, I loved it. I saw it in theaters. I think Dad was a drill sergeant. Cause it was like 98, 99, right? And so yeah, I would have been at Fort Benning in Columbus, Georgia, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, graphically, it was amazing, and you know me, I'm a big tech nerd and graphics nerd. And I really enjoyed it, but the second and third one not as much. It was just one of those things where it was a really cool story idea, and you were like, yeah, I would love to see more, but then you realized, oh, more doesn't work for this. It's like Boondock Saints. You thought you wanted more until you saw more, and you're like, no. I'll just watch the first one. I've only seen the second one like twice. And it's like a lot of things. There's a lot of shows you can point at and be like, oh man, after season 3 or 4, it just went on too long. So when I see this, like as I'm reading it, I started thinking, man, this sounds like The Force Awakens. This is soft reboot. Remember this? Remember that? It wasn't this fun. Wasn't this cool? And kind of like how I said yesterday, man. Like I've had my nostalgia fancy tickled enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying that I never want something nostalgic or a soft reboot or a complete reimagining again. I'm just saying I'm kind of ready for more different things right now. Um, Brian and I were talking about it a bit yesterday, but you said you're not too much into the Matrix. So I mean, is this still something outside of work requirement that you would probably see opening
Well,
weekend?
to be fair, I watch everything.
That's true.
So that's tough
That's why
to
I
say
try
that
to
I'm
preface it as out of work, but you do
I
watch
no,
everything
I
yourself.
watch everything anyway. Like if like the indie the film, the better.
Hmm.
A24 films, I'm all for them. Um so yeah,
How?
it's I guess you can say that I'm not necessarily excited for it. Like
Yeah,
if it got pushed back or it got canceled, I'm not gonna bat an eye.
yeah.
Am I going to watch it opening day weekend? Absolutely. Because but to be fair, I watch everything opening day weekend.
Very true.
Just because thanks to Regal and their awesome pass, I just go and just get them all done. Because that's the way I feel the films are intended to be watched, and you have the means and the ways to go watch them on a big screen, then watch them on a big screen.
Yeah, absolutely. With that idea here, with the whole reimaginings, reboots, sequels, and whatnot, the nostalgia goggles starting to come off of myself. Brian kind of said similar. You've mentioned that you still enjoy the remember moments, but yeah, you're into seeing more different things as well. For years, every Marvel movie, the trades, and then of course your regular normie news outlet, with entertainment sections, always talking about superhero or comic book movie fatigue, right? And I was trying to grapple with these like feelings of, hey, am I done with some of this stuff? Is it fatigue, or is it just I didn't know, and it's not just comic book movies, so it's not necessarily superhero fatigue, because it's the same with Ghostbusters Afterlife, the Matrix. It's literally like, guys, let's do something different. It's Star Wars. I love it, but I'm like you. It's like Kenobi. Okay, yeah, that's the one I wanted, but you watered it down by doing all of these other things set in the same area, Andor, Solo, Rogue One. All this shit between 3 and 4, and it's like, so you watered down the one story between 3 and 4 I wanted, something about Kenobi with McGregor, and now it's really hard to be as excited as I would have been had we not gotten all those other between 3 and 4 projects, and future ones as well. And but that being said, I see visions, and yeah, I'm part of it's the weeb in me, but it's also just, it's different. It's not Skywalker, it's not Solo, it's not uh Yoda. It's not Palpatine. So I don't know, man. Do you think it's superhero fatigue? Do you think it's just general nostalgia fatigue? Is it just me? What do you think's going
It
on,
sounds
man?
like you're just getting old, man.
I mean, that's part of it, but
No,
everyone else that's old is all about this nostalgia stuff, except for these little pockets where it seems to be growing.
I'm all for it, dude, because 80s and 90s produced some of the best movies. And unfortunately, while there are still some gems out there, a lot of the
Hmm.
big market films, I'm not talking independent films, a lot of the big market films are very, very cookie cutter. Marvel films, as much as we love them, are cookie cutter films. They're generally the same thing, with just kind of a different path,
Done very well, yeah.
a different color. But it does the job. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but as far as like original, like getting an original idea like Ghostbusters, RoboCop, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what's something else that Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, the
All
list
the
goes on and on.
Howard Hughes, John Hughes. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Both both brilliant men in multiple ways. Both made movies, but yeah, John Hughes, yeah, all of
Yeah,
his
just
classic 80s 90s
all of
films.
the classic monster movies, they're
Hmm.
just being recreated because there's not enough. Hell, this weekend they're bringing back Candyman.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's it seems like that's what we got.
and you know
There's
what?
no
Oh, so sorry. Keep going.
yeah, no, it just seems like there's a lack of creativity, it feels like, and it's just easier and safer for studios to just go into the bin, find something, dust it off, and bring it back. And the problem is we're all for it, most of us.
Right now,
So
sorry.
no, that's it.
You did say something specific. You pointed to a few properties that have been sitting, like you said, in the bin and not being used. That's something that I did bring up. I was like, well, instead of always going to the same bin for the same characters and just changing, well, whatever time, gender, race, or name, or whatever the case may be, but you just tell the same thing, just polished for today. Um, Go to some properties that we haven't seen in a while. Fucking
Mm-hmm.
dude, kids today rip out Denver the Last fucking dinosaur. Do you remember that shit? I don't know if you remember. That's a very very like obscure 80s 90s cartoon, Denver the Last Dinosaur, some dinosaur that survived the meteor strike and wakes up in modern times or some shit. That's the type of like deep cut that you could take. It's got a nifty little idea, a dinosaur that froze or whatever and lived to today, and then kids adventure. There you go. My point is exactly what you said. There's deep cuts that we all have memories of, enjoyment. A lot of 80s cartoons were garbage but had good premises, and good starting ideas. Go with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to try another G.I. Joe. Why didn't you guys try Mask? Like, Mask is stupid. I never watched Mask. People love Mask. That's another toy brand that you guys could have tried instead of doing another G.I. Joe. Guys, obviously, we don't really care for live action G.I. Joe, but I wonder what would happen if you took G.I. Joe and Powerhouse Animation and let them have it, and instead get some of the guys and girls. I don't know who works on all the comics, but that have been working with the comic line. I know the comics are very very popular for those that read them, and why not do that for GI Joe and try Mask instead? I don't know. What do you think? Should they go for the deep cuts, man?
They haven't been doing that, so I mean, a lot of those projects get put into development and then just thrown away at some point.
Yeah,
You hear about things like that happening,
yeah,
and then they just don't make it farther than kind of the creative office. So I don't know.
yeah.
It's just I mean, look at all of the movies, the big movies that are we're all hyped for right now. James Bond is obviously James Bond from a franchise. We're
Mm-hmm.
just talking about Matrix 4, Batman, Spider-Man, Venom,
I'm not
uh,
excited for Venom.
just yeah, just a bunch of films that aren't necessarily original. So I think maybe we've plateaued on ideas. Is that what's going on?
It might
It seems
be.
like the only person who can give us original ideas is Pixar.
And even then, they're taking classic things and themes and putting great unique, and that's the beauty of
But I mean,
animation.
they do that what you're talking about. They really dig deep
Oh
in
yeah,
a well
oh yeah.
and do something original.
They're not a
I
they're not afraid to have fantastical characters or settings.
right.
That's what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could tell it's like you said, but Marvel's very cookie cutter, but they do it so well, right? They do it so well that we fully enjoy it. It's that comfort food, It's that
Yeah,
slice of pizza.
Marvel's that classic cheeseburger.
Yeah,
You could
exactly.
always rely on it.
And I love Pixar. I like that they started pushing themselves and playing with different art styles, and I like how Disney Animation did that, and I do. I want to see animation embraced for more projects, both kid friendly, family friendly, and of course adult, more adult, more mature, and not always like sexually mature or violently mature. Like I told Brian, if this Ghostbusters isn't successful, if Afterlife isn't successful, right? No more movies. Do an animated show that is exactly like the cartoon with a touch more horror. That's it. Nothing, not super scary. Just up the horror a little. Keep it PG-13. Up the horror just a tad, and do an animated 40-minute episodes, 6 40-minute episodes, 10 30-minute episodes, something like that. That's what I want to see. I want to see that almost as bad as I want to see this ad from Grow Generation.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation offers the best deals and discounts on the best grow products on the market. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Yes, thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show. Do please check them out. Let them know where you heard about them from the Daily COG genre on LRM and the Genreverse. So yeah, man.
So I got a
Sure.
spicy quick topic I want your opinion on.
What's up?
This morning, and I had it up. I guess I don't anymore. What did I put? Okay, here it is. From Variety, and actually it's being posted everywhere now. Man named Spencer Eldon. Does that name mean anything to you?
No, not off the
It shouldn't
top of my
actually,
head.
but you've seen his baby picture a billion times because he's the baby that was used for the album cover for Nirvana's Nevermind. So, as you know, because it's just a famous cover, it's a baby and he's chasing a dollar. Now at a much older age, he is suing Nirvana for calling the picture child.
I see. Yeah. So
And the reason I bring it up is the issue I have with this lawsuit is that throughout his life he has consistently recreated the image himself. And people on Twitter have been posting about it. And through childhood and adult, he had been recreating the image underwater, no problem at all. And I guess he needs money.
this is what it kind of seems like. I mean, look, a few weeks ago, we didn't do a Tech Tuesday segment yesterday, so I guess Wild Card Wednesday we'll talk tech. So a few weeks ago, Apple talked about their algorithms and their monitoring of photos that you take on your device, even before you store them on the cloud and things like that. And they've got markers looking for exploited kids, right, in a very 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 specific way. Now, I'm a big privacy person, not because of illegal things, but there's financial data that people deal with. People use their devices as both personal things and work things with appropriate encryption devices. But if applications, but if Apple's able to bypass that encryption, then anyone can, right? And that's where privacy is a big deal. Everyone's always likes to say, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, then why should you be upset? It's not necessarily the what the government can do, although that is a big deal because oppressive governments exist across the world right now, and encryption and backdoors, things like the onion router and virtual private networks allow political dissidents in oppressive countries to communicate, get stories out, ask for aid. These are important things to have. It's beyond some pervert on the internet. It's well beyond that. So they released this algorithm, and the first thing I'm thinking is, how many times have I taken a funny picture of my kid at the beach, and there's been kids out there with their shirts off? Is my phone going to get tagged for, oh, he's got a bunch of shirtless kids on a picture? Well, yeah, I took a picture of my kid at the beach to share with his grandparents, right? But you're not going to get, they try to call them everywhere. You're not going to get tipped off for pictures of your kids like this. But if you get enough check marks, then a physical person has to look at all the images. Screw that job. Like, no. And I don't even want to think about the legal ramifications of Apple saying, hey, you look at potentially bad stuff. But it's just the idea of something like this, that in the article that I looked up by BBC News, they pointed out very clearly that sexualized photos of infants are generally not considered to be, illegal under U.S. law, because God, every one of us just about has a photo out there from mom or dad of us in the bath, the shower, a swimming pool, nude, because we were doing something funny or cute. It's again, like they said, non-sexual, man. This is an issue. Like you said, he's got all this history of, it was never a problem until all of a sudden it's a problem. And I'm not saying the BBC doesn't cover any of the hymns saying that it's ruined me or ruined my life or whatever, but I don't know what the thing he's trying to get at. I don't know, man. Do you see this as a dangerous precedent along with the Apple stuff?
No, I unfortunately, man, I trust Apple pretty good. All my products are Apple products.
So the iCloud leak of all those celebrity nudes and stuff like that makes you feel real secure in Apple looking at your stuff and storing it.
The thing is, I hate to say it this way. I hate to say it this way, man, but I don't care. If somebody wants to look at my stuff, someone's going to look at my stuff regardless of the algorithm, regardless of the cloud setting, Android, Apple. We're in a world where everything is digital now, so
and we keep making it easier just because, oh well, they'll do it any
yeah. But
ways.
As far as who I feel safest with, I will say it is Apple. So
look, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's really it. There's nothing.
I see this as a potential. If this goes on now, I am almost certain that it'll get smacked down in a criminal setting. They might be able to get something like, oh, we didn't intend for his body parts to be shown. It was only supposed to be from a certain angle. Maybe he could get a civil suit out of that. I don't know, but my fear is then other people with maybe well-off parents who, like I said, there's photo albums with me and in underwear and stuff in my parents' photo albums. What if someone wants to sue their parents because they know their parents got my parents once showed this picture of me that's in a photo album and it caused me great pain and trauma, and now they can, and there's precedents. Like I said, man, it's
just like this. Just this lawsuit. It's a stretch.
I know,
and it's just a money grab.
It's 2021.
But no, you can't. You it's your parents. They have guardianship over you. They technically.
I know, dude. But we have. I think, right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're kind of stretching a little too far at this point with that specifically.
There's a Twitch streamer. I can't remember their name. I caught a drama YouTuber video yesterday on this. Apparently, this streamer kissed one of their friends, and it was like at a party setting, and it was not like a long thing. It was like funny drunken moment. I don't know if they were drinking alcohol or not, but it was like one of those types of things. Oh, we're being stupid, and that the people watching the stream immediately jumped to like non-consensual and accusing the famous person of assault and dude, like that's why I'm saying it's 2021. It's not necessarily any one thing is big. It's a whole bunch of little things are stack up and allow some bad things to happen. That's my fear. It's not any one thing, because on the surface, yes, what Apple wants to do, very noble. I just don't think the method is right. What this person from the photo might have gone through, I don't know what he's gone through. Maybe he is putting deep-seated emotions aside to make money off of the photo, and he can't do it anymore. I don't think that's likely, but it could be. So the lawsuit has validity potentially, but again, if it's just a money grab, it sets a dangerous precedent if legally anything is said. Like that's why I hate things, and without getting too political, I hate judicial review, and I hate precedents, and they're unconstitutional. Bite me. Anyways, man, what do you have any other takes on it?
No, just actually I think that was the thing, is that it would set a dangerous precedent to other kids who have been used on albums or things like that. But the thing is, what makes him look really bad is that he's
all those years of using it,
and the fact that on one of the reports was saying that he had reached out to Nirvana for, I think, an art show to help him out or something, and they just didn't. And all of a sudden there's a lawsuit. So it just looks bad. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, optimism.
So yeah, let's I'll lighten it up a bit for you.
Sure. Oh, you got another one. I don't.
Well, it's a thought.
Okay. What are you thinking?
Should Rotten Tomatoes wait to release their tomato scores until a week after a movie's out? Because
this is so sorry. Go ahead. Because
the reason I say this is if you release if they do their initial reveal, 50, 60 reviews, if the movie is good, I think it has a high chance usually of being certified fresh. Whereas if you wait, you're going to have a lot of movies that are going to end up in the 80s instead of the 90s. And I don't know why. I don't know why it bothers me, but it almost seems like it has become, instead of a review thing, now it's more of a marketing thing.
I could see that. I mean, yeah, I see what you're going with in the way they've basically monetized and get their revenue by they businessified fucking reviews, man. They really did in a really brilliant way, and that brings issues. There's always complaints, you know. What do they call it? Brigading or something? Review bombing is what I've always heard it, but I've heard someone say the term. What is brigading? Someone let me know in the comments. You have claims of that. You've always got these drastic differences in critics versus the audience, but you and I know, of course, from reading old newspaper reviews, from having to look at newspapers to see what movies were going to be playing at our theater, and they would often have reviews and grades. We already knew that critics don't always agree with the audience, that they think differently, they approach things differently. But a lot of people, they never had that, you know. They grew up in this digital age where they could just look up the movie time, and they never had to see the reviews. So I think now people are, I no, they shouldn't wait, but I see why you would want them to. And could they be asked to? Could the industry work with their not moratoriums? What's the word? Where they hold where, hey, you can't, not boycott. What is the word where you can't say your reaction or review before this point? What is that point called again?
The
The barricade point. I keep bouncing around the word. Embargo. Thank you. Embargo. The embargo. Like I could see where industry might play around with it, waiting until after it's released. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying reviews. I'm saying just that score.
Yeah. Well, that changes it a bit different. Well,
for example, Black Widow, its initial score was at an 86%, and it dropped all the way to an 80, which is actually a pretty significant drop if you think about it. That's a difference between a B plus almost to an A minus.
I see what you're saying now.
A B minus almost to a C.
Yeah. So I get that. In that case, yeah, I could kind of see them pushing a certain threshold. Maybe not a date time, but hey, the score only comes out once we cross 40 critical reviewers, 50 critical reviewers, something like that.
They already do that.
But up it, I'm saying. Up it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what because I've seen it with it where it's like 20 or 30 on there. That's why I was saying higher numbers. So, because that's what happens. You're those initial critic reviews, and you know what? It might be also what weight do they give critics for which films, and do they prioritize? So if you're prioritizing certain critics because of the feedback loops for their websites or their outlets, channels, whatever, if you're doing that and making money off of the priority, that definitely affects the score. And for certain, that should be accounted for by either delaying the score, because I mean people are interested in what the critic has to say, at least those little blurbs. And you could always give the critics personal score if it's 1 through 5, A through F, whatever, without giving the aggregate Rotten Tomato score. So yeah, they should definitely try to compensate as much as they can for bias in the numbers, because you are right, it could be used advantageously for one group over another, and Rotten Tomatoes holds the keys to that castle.
Yeah, it's just weird. Sometimes I'll go back, and then it's like, wait a minute, this was way higher when it was initially released, as in the score, not the film.
Right.
What happened? Like, where was the drop in? And obviously that's never going to come out, or that at that point it's buried because nobody cares anymore. So I just find it just a little ingenuine, and then that's what made me think, what made me start thinking, then this becomes more marketing for the movie than an actual genuine review, and because that score is going to drop. But I get that it's also a group of scores, so like each of them have their own opinions. And so I don't know. It's a good system. I still like it. I just that's a thought that kind of was swimming through my head yesterday when I was looking up a few things, and just, I mean, tell me, you're gonna ask me to give you a better idea of how to do it. I don't have one. but the critics, because the audience scores, I mean, those are instantaneous, right? Like you just watch the movie, did you like it or not? But yeah, I just think the critic score, maybe give it through that weekend and on that Monday or something.
That'll find a way to make sure that you're compensating for potential drops, whether that's via time, upping the count threshold, holding the score, whatever. You're right. You should you because we've already seen like Warner Brothers try to manipulate the Rotten Tomatoes system. Disney just figured it out by being, like you said, cookie cutter. They know the formula. It's like the YouTube viral video formula. It exists. You can utilize it. Not everyone can make it big forever, but you'll probably get a couple of viral videos out of it. And you can't hate the game, right?
You know what we might do then?
What's that?
Just on our part, we may do, and this is something that one of us can undertake, and maybe I'll do it.
Brainstorming.
We'll do like a score, a month after, and how did it hold up?
Yeah, that could be interesting.
I think that might be a good way to actually just finish analyzing the film. Is like take maybe the top 3 films of the month or the 4, whatever, and kind of ask ourselves how did it fare from its initial score to when it was released.
I kind of like that
because
idea.
Like look at Jungle Cruise, for example. Currently now it's at 63%.
Oof. And it was high when it first
it was quite
like
a bit
80s,
higher.
wasn't it?
If I could find it.
I think it was like 70s or 80s. But yeah, I get it. I do. We'll when it comes to reviews for myself personally, I'm always the type that, like I said, I want to actually read the review, because how the reviewer talks about things is going to let me know whether or not this person actually enjoys the type of film they're reviewing. Because we can say we're being critical all that day. Art is always subjective, and we're always going to have a personal, no matter how hard you try not to be.
Right.
And honestly, guys, a lot of critics I know, they don't try to hide their bias. They'll straight up say, I hate X, Y, and Z. And because I hate X, Y, and Z, this is trash. I didn't like it. I hated it. And sure, they're a critic. I mean, what good does that type of opinion help anyone with, except for people that are exactly like you? But if you take the Rotten Tomatoes reviews and you take something like the cinema score, which is more scientific of audiences than others, and I've explained that in past episodes. It's not perfect, but you can kind of get a rough idea of what you should spend your money on. It's like any news story. You got to take it from a few sources. Check the original sources. Is there a quote? Is there a video? Is there something tangible that can't be affected by opinions? And then you take that and you take the opinions and you make an informed decision. All too often we want others to make the decisions for us, and that's how we end up with Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Letting others make the decisions for letting others make the decisions for us.
I just don't want our viewers to think that another country is part of our decision.
Oh.
Yeah. I just because in general I don't care about the scores as far as what I'm going to watch, because I told you I watch everything, because like you said, everybody has their own opinion of what they're going to like and they're not going to like. It's just interesting to watch it now. And I think it started off with watching the weekend numbers and seeing how those correlate week to week and project to project and everything. Like I feel like if I keep doing that, though, I'm gonna end up with charts and graphs on a board and everything. Yeah, basically. And so now I'm looking at reviews and things like that. Like, oh, how's that doing? It's like, what is this? What's going on here? Why did this go? But yeah, you're right. Like we read some Suicide Squad reviews from the Rotten Tomatoes, and some of the better reviews were James Gunn's an asshole, and it was like one, and it was like, what does that have to do with the film?
Nothing.
Yeah, so I
Nothing
mean,
at all.
just so I mean, you gotta love it, man. There's so much when it comes to movies, when it comes to cinema in general. Like just today, we talked about previews, we've talked about behind the scenes footage and reviews. I mean, there's just actually watching movies, and I mean, it's such a beautiful art to be able to hell sit here and talk about it most of the time.
Yeah, and it's like I said about the Ghostbusters and Spider-Man and the nostalgia goggles thing. It's not that I'm not necessarily hating on things and saying that they shouldn't make these things. I hope things are good. I've matured. I don't root for things to fail because while I might not like a writer, a director, or even an actor or actress, that shouldn't affect the job of the cameraman, the electrician, the lighting, the makeup crew, the set design. Like I don't want a project to fail because a lot of people put hard work into something. So don't take that. Yeah, sure, I'll complain about a product like you with animation, always saying it's not made for us. Yeah, I get it. 100%. And I'm happy they're making something for someone today. Yeah, sure, I wish they'd make something for me, but I hope that I can get into it or my kid can get into it, whatever it may be. Yeah, dude, film, entertainment, TV, all of that stuff. Humans have been telling each other stories for centuries, and now we get to do it in really, really cool ways to where we don't have to just imagine it in our mind. It's fun. It's cool. I like it. It's also cool if everyone would check out lrmonline.com every day for all their entertainment news, needs, and opinions. If everyone would please subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can catch the Daily COG genre every Monday through Friday. Thursdays we're usually live 9:35 Eastern time, and then of course we have the interviews side. Nancy Gig and Manny do a lot of interviews with creators and celebrities, actors, actresses, comic book artists, and everything. And of course, we have a whole bunch of podcasts on our podcast network, the Genreverse podcast network from LRM online, wherever you get your podcast from, Spotify, Google, Apple, all of that. And most of those shows, Animeversal reviews, Breaking Geek Radio, Marvel Multiverse Mayhem, talking about What If today. We didn't even talk about that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. It's all also on YouTube. So and several of them are video series like this one. So yeah, Manny, what else do you have to say for the end of the show today?
End of the show. Bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I got some cool stuff coming up. I have an actress from Shang-Chi that I'm talking with today. As well as I'm doing the cast and directors for a very heavy movie called Paper Tiger, based on a real story. And yeah, quite a bit. And Nancy and Gig are still at CinemaCon, so we're still gonna get those nice bits reactions from them. And that's really about it. I think
cool.
we're good.
All right then. Unless something happens, everyone, we should see you guys tomorrow live. Like it should be around 35 East or Pacific, 9:35 Eastern. There you go. Anyways, I'm done.